Oh, what the fuck? Oh, no! Hickey, what the fuck? Oh my god. That was... What the fuck? You know, I was... Oh my god. I don't know what to say, man.
That is fucking hilarious.
Hi guys, this is Matthias, and I would like to dedicate this H1Z1 video to the survival aspect of survival mode. So now, within the first 3 months after this game became available on Steam in early access, I played this game for about 1,000 hours. And to me, a survival MMO was completely new. The closest thing that I can relate to are actually the Fallout games, which are not multiplayer at all. So needless to say, there was a lot of things here that was new to me, and I saw this as something very interesting and challenging. Now, the first weeks we basically just stayed away from the cities. We were exploring the outskirts of the maps, checking out all the campsites, we're killing zombies, and we tried to figure out all the interesting recipes that this game had to offer. We made a big deal about having the right amount of food and water with us. There was a lot of role-playing involved, and later on we started with base building as well. But the more and more we played this game, the more we started getting into the PvP aspect of the survival mode, and eventually it just turned into COS. If you're unfamiliar with the term COS, this means kill on sight, and this is a very debated, should I call it playstyle, or yeah, way of playing the game, or whatever you want to call it. And in this video, I'd like to talk about some of the reasons why that happened. Now, to be perfectly honest, the more I played this game, the more I have been disappointed with the lack of challenge the survival point of view actually brings at least the more experienced players. Now, first of all, I would like to talk about food. In this game you can actually cook quite a lot of different kinds of food. You basically just need to put the right ingredients on a barbecue or a campfire and it cooks itself. Now, some of these recipes will restore more energy than others, such as a bear steak that will restore 100% of your energy, while the meat from deer and rabbits, for example, will restore much less. Now, in the gameplay this makes sense because bears are much more dangerous and much more rare. But basically, that's where it ends. Because if you go to any residential area with houses that look similar to this one, if you start looking through cabinets, refrigerators, and even garbage cans outside of the houses, you will very quickly find enough food to last you for hours. Now, to me, this is a perfect example, even though far from the only example, of what makes the game less interesting and eventually rather boring. Because the thing is that there are quite a number of recipes of food that you can cook, and in my opinion I think that part of the game works just fine, except for the fact that it is completely pointless to learn these things. Because food is everywhere, water is everywhere, it is so easy to find that it presents absolutely no challenge whatsoever. Here's one of those examples. We could have just easily made a bow drill, cut down a few trees and made a campfire in order to cook this wolf meat. At the same time we could have cleaned the dirty water on the campfire just as well. Now, had we done that, of course I would have restored more hydration and more energy, but why bother? Because in H1Z1 you might as well just eat a little bit extra raw meat and drink a little bit extra dirty water and then cure that with a bandage or two. And this, combined with the massive amount of food spawns, makes a big portion of the survival aspect of H1Z1 completely pointless. Now, the game is set in a post-apocalyptic world, and normally when I talk about games, I try to stay away from making comparisons to real life as much as possible, but in this case I'm going to make one exception. Because if society would collapse in a way that H1Z1 tries to resemble, you know, minus the zombies of course, then you would have a situation where starvation, dehydration and diseases would be a massive problem to the ones who try to survive in that area. Now, unfortunately, in my opinion, the only time that food and hydration causes a problem is if you completely ignore it for quite a while of your playing time. But truth be told, the only time I've actually experienced food being a problem has been when we have allowed some new players to join our community and they fill up the storage containers with a bunch of useless food. And basically what I'm trying to point out here is the meaning of things. The meaning of knowing things, the meaning of learning things, the meaning of doing things. All which can be completely pointless if there is too much of something or something similar. And here I'll bring up another example. Let's say the framed backpack that requires a backpack frame combined with a spool of twine and cloth. So now what defines how valuable a framed backpack is depending on quite a number of things. One of those things is how easy it is to find backpacks in the first place, by just looting around. Now, of course, we can all have different opinions about how interesting it is to craft stuff and how interesting it is to actually find unusual things and rare items, but backpacks are quite valuable if you play this game, and for me, knowing the recipe to the framed backpack and crafting them every once in a while has been quite valuable. valuable. And I happen to be one of those players who think that this is needed for the game H1Z1 to be interesting. So now another thing that I used to be super excited about was these worn letters. They used to look very differently compared to what they look like now. I'm sure you guys remember this icon. I sure remember what they used to mean to me and the guys that I play with back in like the first month and a half of early access. But with the addition of more and more content, some of which I'm actually quite excited about, and some of the things that I really think add something good to the game, what has happened is that what used to be one of the most valuable things, at least to me, is now something that we would consider just a waste of time to cash in. Well, I guess it depends on a lot of things, like for example how far it is and whether or not you have a car. But for a while now, we've basically just stored them in our bases until there's been another server wipe. I found a worn letter.
Oh, you lucky shit.
So now when you look at the development of H1Z1 over the short period of time that this game has been in early access, it's important to remember that making a change in one area can have a very big impact on a completely different area that might seem like it has nothing to do with where the change was made. And one of the things I'd like to mention here is the increased amount of zombies and the increased aggressiveness of zombies and how that affects the kill on sight gameplay. There are some people that are very positive to the aggressiveness and the increased number of zombies. You know, it's a zombie game after all, and this game attracts a lot of people that think that the more zombies the better. At the same time, it's very common with the players from this group of people being very negative to the PvP aspect or the kill on sight aspect of survival mode. And here I want to point out something that a lot of people probably don't think about, and that is that the changes made to the zombies, their aggressiveness and the increased numbers, actually helps kill on sight players rather than the ones who tries to be friendly and who'd rather try to talk to people and avoid fights. And the reason why I think so is because when we have been in the mood for kill on sight, the number one tell whether or not there is a player that we can actually go for is the behavior of zombies in the nearby area. The best tell to whether or not there's a player inside a house, for example, is to just see if the zombies are aggroing it. And I've also been in situations where I tried to hide from people, though I know I was outnumbered and outgunned. And I'm talking about situations where there is no way they could have known where I was, you know, unless they were cheating, if it wasn't for the fact that the zombies were aggroing the house where I was hiding. So it's important to keep in mind that many times when a change is made, it might have a very different effect than what actually was intended. Now, the increased numbers of zombies has added a lot of frustration among a lot of players, and I think that the biggest problem is if there is no point dealing with them. Now, we define zombie behavior with what we see in movies and TV series, and in that regard I would say that H1Z1 has captured it quite well. But where I think it's lacking is in the area of where it comes to dealing with zombies if you and your community actually decides to take the time, use the resources to do so. Because as much as it does make perfect sense that your base is going to be completely swarmed with zombies from time to time, but as a player you also want to be able to do something about it. Something that actually makes a difference. Because otherwise what you do has no meaning, and that has a tendency to become very boring very quickly.
We now have...
Oh shit! Help
what?
me! Bottom of the street, guys. Bottom of the street. Is someone aiming at me?
To the south? Towards
Yeah.
the church? Towards the church? Yeah.
Towards the church. Yellow t-shirt. Yellow t-shirt.
Where is he? To the south,
Bottom.
all the way?
Hang on. Yeah, he's by the brick building. He's shooting at me.
I'm coming. Brick building.
He's fucking trying to kill me, man. Yeah, I'm at the White House now.
Yeah, you're at the original White House?
Yeah, the original White House, right?
Yeah,
now.
I'm behind it, I'm behind it.
He's firing at me, yellow t-shirt.
Wait. What brick building?
I'm at the White House.
He's
White
dead,
House
he's
right
dead,
now.
he's dead, he's dead.
Well done. Whew.
Watch out, Hickey. Zombies. I got some. So for about a month at the release of this video, I've been playing the game a bit less than I did the 3 months before that. And I'm not saying that to complain or anything. I do appreciate all the work that Daybreak is putting in to stop cheaters from roaming around freely on the servers. I'm also sure that at some point in the future, the devs will put some focus into the performance issues with the game. Me and a lot of other players have seen how much more enjoyable Planetside 2 was, for example, after the release of some of the performance updates. I'm sure that is coming to H1Z1 as well. But in my opinion, the survival aspect of the survival mode is lacking. In an apocalyptic world, it should actually mean something if, let's say, you're able to kill a deer, because the meat and the pelt of that deer should be really valuable. At the same time, I think that the spawns of lootable food, and I mean basically everything that will restore your energy, needs to be decreased with about 95%. For every 20 items that can restore your energy, 19 should be removed, in my opinion. I know it sounds like a lot, but I actually believe so. Because the way things are right now, this isn't much of a survival game. Anyway, this was just a little bit of feedback and some suggestions, so now I'm looking forward to your opinions about the things that I brought up in this video. Anyway, with that, I would like to say thank you all for watching. It's the middle house, all the way.
Who's being chased by zombies?
It's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's here, Kula, yeah, here. See where I am? Right here.
Oh! A
what?
guy killed me!
Okay.
On the street! He's running to you now! In the residential.
He's dead.
Zombies are
I got him.
Nice.
Oh shit, I'm dying! Shit, he almost killed me.